We just got back from seeing Captain Marvel.
And we'll be back with our non-spoiler review right after this.
Hi folks, welcome back to Pop Pop Fizzle. I'm Jeff.
I'm Heidi.
And we are here. Sorry, I
Woo!
talked right to zoom past
Okay, you want to... I'll just...
We are here to give you our non-spoiler review of Captain Marvel. Marvel. It's two syllables.
Yeah, it sounds better this way, though.
Okay. Anyway, we're here to give you our non-spoiler review for Captain Marvel. Came out this weekend, last night actually. Today's Friday. Or we're filming this on Friday. You'll probably be seeing it on Saturday or later. But, yeah, we just literally left the theater. Still have my ginormous drink.
I left mine in the kitchen.
Yeah. But we are going to give you our non-spoiler thoughts about Captain Marvel. You're kicking the chair.
I am, sorry. I'm usually kicking a box. There's one. Okay.
Yes, this is because our house is in utter disarray because of all the moving around that we've had to do to have floors replaced and all those things. So, yeah, if you could see beyond what the camera is taking in right now.
It's a nightmare.
Oh, yeah. There's Funko Pops galore. There's boxes of my books hanging around. There's all kinds of stuff just that were shuffled into this room to make room elsewhere. So, we're going to give you our non-spoiler thoughts. Then we are going to film a spoiler talk where we discuss it. So if that interests you after you've seen the movie, then be sure and look for that as well. But right now, if you haven't seen Captain Marvel, you are safe here. Now, I know we reacted to some of the trailers for this movie.
Yes, we did.
And we, like all Marvel movies, we were excited to see this, and we knew that it was going to
tie into
the rest of the MCU, and with Endgame coming, that was an exciting thing. We knew this was, so. We approached this the way that we approach any Marvel movie, really, that we were excited about it and excited to see how it fits in the greater MCU. And I think we said when we saw the trailer that we were excited to see a younger Nick Fury. And we knew that we were going to see a younger Coulson, so these are not spoilers. So, but other than that, I'll say that Captain Marvel kind of fell in the zone for me of Black Panther, which is that I am familiar with Captain Marvel, more as Ms. Marvel, and I was familiar with Black Panther, but they were not characters that I had read so much of that I fully understood all the details of backstory and stuff. And I do know that probably some elements changed as they normally do.
Wasn't it Carol Danvers that Rogue took her powers from?
Carol Danvers, yes.
Okay. So
we're not talking about movie, we're talking about comics.
Oh,
here.
Yeah, totally comics.
Yeah,
totally comics.
Just so you know, this is not a movie spoiler.
Definitely not. And it's also, although it is an X-Men, the cartoon show, spoiler, just saying, but I don't know if it was part of the comics and...
You mean the 92 X-Men series?
Hey, there's some people out there who haven't seen it.
I'm making sure that we're referring to a specific series and not
the specific
X-Men Evolution or anything else.
The first one.
Okay. Yeah. So in comics continuity, Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel from this film, in the comics she did have her powers, and they were stolen from her by Rogue of the X-Men, and Rogue kept her powers for a long time. In fact, Rogue still pretty much has some of those powers. They're just sort of hers now, and different writers have played with that in different ways. But but this has nothing to do with that.
Nope.
That's just some random comment that Heidi threw out there for fun.
Yeah, well, I just want to remember, because I wanted to make sure I was remembering it correctly.
Right.
So it's fine. But that's pretty much all I knew of Carol Danvers.
Oh, okay.
Going into this, that's pretty much all I knew of her, because I didn't.
Because you haven't read the comics,
nope.
so there's no Ms. Marvel history.
Nope.
For you, really.
None.
So for me, this was not the kind of movie that I looked forward to in the same way that I looked forward to Spider-Man Homecoming or to, Captain America or Iron Man or whatever, because I grew up reading all of those characters. I was invested in those characters already. Captain Marvel falls more along the lines of, like I said, Black Panther, or even Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy that I was familiar with is a completely different incarnation than the team that we get in the movies. Mm-hmm. So, I didn't really have a frame of reference for them either. Really loved those movies. Really liked Black Panther. Mm-hmm. And now I can say I really liked Captain Marvel.
Same.
There's a lot of controversy swirling around about this movie, and we're not going to get into all of that, but I do want to say that because of the controversy around this movie, and I don't know if you know this part yet, because of the controversy, Rotten Tomatoes removed viewer ratings for so basically they took away people's, because it was getting bombarded with negative reviews.
Oh, gotcha.
Of people that were just angry about some of the things that the actor said. And they were taking it out on the movie beforehand that really had nothing to do with the movie.
Come on.
Yeah, and so that was the whole thing. And then as soon as the movie was released and available on IMDb for people to add things to, they bombarded it with bad reviews as well.
Lame.
Yeah, I mean, if the impetus of those reviews, after seeing the movie is still stuff that the actor said, that's silly. We have to separate art from artists all the time, in all sorts of different fashions. Horrible things revealed about different celebrities all the time, different, even historical figures, that kind of thing. It doesn't mean that that's the only way that we can think of them. And certainly Brie Larson's just speaking her mind about certain issues. I don't always agree with everything she says. However, I was interested in this movie as this movie. And so I think taking out, your frustrations about her as an actress on her movie is kind of silly. Either the movie's going to be good or the movie is not. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie as the newest entry into the MCU. I had a good time with it. A lot of what I wanted to see, including young Nick Fury, did not disappoint.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think I wasn't really sure what to expect because, like I said, this is not a character that I have a innate fondness for, but I was pleased with what I got.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
I enjoyed this movie for what it was, a fun popcorn movie, a lot of action on screen, and I love that this is now part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm looking forward to seeing where else it goes from here.
As for cons, I would say, and I think you and I are going to hit on the same thing but from different angles. I would say, see, there's something in my eye, that when it comes to the music, and this is a constant thing for the MCU, I feel like the music didn't have a strong theme. We've gotten a few. I feel like the Captain America theme was a pretty strong theme. Avengers theme, obviously, is a strong theme.
Oh, they were trying for a theme.
But, right. But then I think your issue had more to do with the soundtrack pop rock stuff that was being played throughout the movie.
Yep. This is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I hated the soundtrack for all of the popular music that was included. There was one song that I would have been like, okay, that's cool, right there, that's where that goes. Everything else took me straight out of the movie, which stinks because I really enjoyed the movie. And also, I really enjoyed those songs when they were popular because I was there. But it was just not... I think they were trying for like a Guardians of the Galaxy sort of vibe where like there was music, 90s. But like 90s-ish, and it just fell so flat for me. So I'm sorry if that's an unpopular opinion, but I stand by it.
It seemed like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed to me that it was a lot of heavy girl power sort of songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's like, you've got Marvel's first full-on female-led superhero film.
Super-powered, super female.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's got the spotlight on her. She is, got this movie in the bag. I mean, and clearly it's important to things that come after this movie in the MCU. I mean, this is a given. We all knew this because of the way Infinity War ended.
Yeah.
So trying to...
shove it down our throats as a girl power thing was terrible. Sorry, Marvel. Hated it.
I didn't think of it that way while we were watching it. It was only on the car ride back when you mentioned it. I was like, yeah, that was a little over the top.
Yeah. You will have girl power. Yeah, sorry.
But...
didn't care for it.
Right. And I think here's where this comes into play. And again, we're not really in spoiler territory, but...
But let me just say, love the movie.
Yeah.
Didn't like that the soundtrack took me out of it.
And I think this is where it comes into, a good movie can still have flaws. So for us, the movie itself was good. The movie itself said all it needed to say about girl power as a theme. And I don't even think that was the only theme.
Definitely not.
It wasn't, the movie itself didn't feel super preachy or whatever.
No.
But the soundtrack veered into that sort of preachy lane where it was like, we got the point. We didn't need for every single song to, grind that point home. That horse was dead. You didn't need to keep
beaten dead a few miles back.
But that said, maybe other people will feel differently, and certainly if you felt differently, let us know in the comments
definitely.
down below.
Like I said, I like those songs too. Not to say that I don't.
Yeah, but again, the movie didn't need that. The movie was strong on its own. Brie Larson was fine in this role, and I really, there's a lot of flack or a lot of stuff going on online about her expressionless sort of vibe in the trailer.
Yeah.
Don't let that throw you.
No,
I think there was a point to that in the trailer. But you're not going to be feeling that vibe when you see her in this role.
No, not at all.
Fully. I think that was just a trailer thing. And trailers can have missteps like that, where they're trying to sell a certain aspect, but they're not really giving you the full picture, and I don't think that trailer did.
No.
So if that was a worry for you, you don't need to worry. But anyway, now the way that we normally rate things here on this channel is we use our name, Pop, Pop, Fizzle. So if something's a fizzle, obviously, that means it just didn't work for us. Save your money, stay home, do something else fun. But if it's a pop, then that means, sure, we enjoyed the movie, we think that you should see it. But maybe not in the big, on the big screen. Maybe not in the theater. Maybe save your money for something else. And then if it's a double pop, that's our highest rating, and that means basically run out and see it while it's in theaters. Check it out on the big screen. Get yourself a giant popcorn, which we did tonight, and a giant drink, and enjoy the show. Now, I will say, we did not see it in 3D. I would like to see it again in 3D just to compare the experience. So we can't really grade it on that level just yet, but just on the movie as a whole, seeing it in 2D, Heidi, on that scale, where would you land?
I would give it pretty darn close to a double pop. The only, again, sorry to say, beat this one home, but the only thing I would say that would make it better at home is when you could mute through those songs and just watch the action on screen. But the explosions and all the action on screen, that was all really, really cool to see. So if you can just set that aside while you're watching it, definitely a double pop.
Yeah, and I did not see any issues with effects or anything like that. There was nothing that really threw me out of it on that level either. All the acting I felt like was solid. So for me, it's going to be a solid double pop. You're going to see Endgame. Everybody and their mother saw Infinity War probably more than once. And so that you're going to see Endgame.
Yes.
And this is a nice piece in between Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Endgame to kind of fill in some gaps. Mm-hmm. Explain some stuff to us that we didn't know before. Fill in some gaps in MCU history. Yeah. Because it takes place, in the 90s, 95, right?
In MCU history, yes.
Right. And so it fills in some gaps there. I think it's definitely worth seeing on the big screen.
Yep.
And so those are our thoughts. We want to know what your thoughts are. If you haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, are you planning to go? If so, what are you excited the most about? And then if you have seen the movie already, then be sure and check out our spoiler review. We will be discussing this in a little more detail. We just didn't want to do that. We wanted to give you our thoughts without the spoilers in this particular video. But you can check that out after you've seen the movie, right?
Okay.
All right, anything else, Dan?
Nope.
All right. Until next time, folks.
Bye.
Bye.